So when you first come to your website admin area, you get there by going to your website and putting a slash and then admin and slash. And that link will ask you to log in, and you would enter your username and password. I'm just going to skip that for this demo. Once you log in, you'll be presented with a dashboard. So this dashboard is activity to your website. Up the top here, you've got totals, and so all of the totals and all the information that you can see on the screen here is within the date range that's displayed on the top right. And so you can change this date range. So we could just look at say the whole of May. So we can click the 1st to the 31st of May, and all of the numbers will update accordingly. Or we can just look at June to date. The dashboard information is updated periodically. It's not live, so that the today's visits, when you're looking at your traffic, is sort of you're better off looking at yesterday's and not worrying too much about today's. Activity gives you a breakdown over the days of the week, the days of the month. The sources here tells you where people are coming to your site from. So you get things in here like social media or Google search or campaigns. If you're running like a paid advertising campaign or an email campaign, it'll break out those numbers. We have a professional version of the dashboard, which offers screen recordings and heat maps. And screen recordings let you actually watch what a visitor did on your website. You can see them scrolling and clicking on things and interacting. The heat map list, heat maps will generate like hot and cold areas based on where people are scrolling and also where people are clicking. And then search keywords. So it connects to Google and extracts a list of keywords from Google and displays them of what people are searching for to get to your site. We have some country maps, so countries in real time, which will just pop up visits in the last 30 minutes, and then a map of the world for the date period that you selected. A breakdown of who's a new person and who's coming back to your site. So a lot of people will visit your site more than once, and so this gives you an idea of how much of an occurrence that is. And then an hourly activity, so you can see when people are most active on your site. This is useful information if you're going to send out email campaigns. You want to sort of match up when people are naturally visiting your site or interested in looking at the things that your site is promoting. And if you tend to send out emails around that time, you'll get better engagement. We have devices, and then a movers and shakers. So it's the most popular change. So if a page gets much more popular suddenly or much less popular suddenly, it appears on this list. And then the top pages are just your the pages with the most amount of activity. So then up the top menu bar, we have a menu button on the left here, which expands and contracts the navigation of the site. This navigation area lets you drill down into different items. Each of these items is color coded just to make it easy to remember where you are. So if you're in artworks, for example, you've got this purpley blue color. If you're in a page, it's like a light blue. If you're in an event or an exhibition, it's a purple color. So if you've got a user card, it's the green. So it's very quick to see what you're working with. Right at the bottom, there's trash. So anything that you've recently deleted will be sitting in the trash, and so you can highlight it and restore it. So easy to recover things. So if I've deciding or need more space available, I can click on this 3-line menu again, and it unexpands or contracts the left navigation bar. Here we have a list of pages. That's what we selected on the left. Up the top here, there's all the different actions we can do with a page. So we've got the green button. Green buttons generally mean creating a new thing. So we could create a new page from here. If we select the page, single click, then we can edit that page, we can disable that page, and we can delete that page. So disabling it pauses it, takes it available, stops it being available on the website, but you can continue to work on it and have it exist in your website, whereas deleting it removes it, puts it in the trash, and will eventually be gone forever. If you need to quickly find something, very handy when there's a long list. Obviously this is only a short list, but you can just text search for the page names or the tags if things are tagged. So that's tagged with email, so we can search for email, and we can also search for any other details that display, so like a product code if you code your products or artworks. Next we've got the sort. So for us to find, say, the most recently updated item, we can click last update. So we've got demo page at the top, which was just updated a few seconds ago, and then older as we go. If you use the code function, you can sort by the code or any other options in this list. And then lastly is an overflow menu. So this menu has a few extra tools if the tools up here can't fit, if you're on a smaller device or once you open an item. So if we open up a page, so I'm looking at this in the split view, so suddenly there's not enough room on this toolbar to display, but all the options are always available in here. So the other two items are importing data, so you can import from a spreadsheet into the system, or exporting data, which will download whatever you're looking at as a spreadsheet, so that you could use that to then import into some other piece of software. We can close what we just opened, and that won't save anything. It won't prompt you. It just drops all your changes. It goes back to wherever you were. We can get rid of the split view. So if we want more space, we can maximize the editor area. So that's what the split view does. Can be handy if you're just working on one thing to have it at the full screen, but if you're in and out of lots of different things, sometimes it is handy to be able to see the list so that you can open up multiple items. There's also a minimize button, so that doesn't close it, it just pushes it off to the side over here, and so then we can choose something else to open. That will automatically happen if you choose a new area to navigate to. So if I go to my catalog, go to categories, that minimized and pushed that over to the side so I can open up something else. Across the top here we have a few tools that we can use for this page. So these are the commonly used ones. We can disable this page again. We can make a duplicate of it. This is actually a category. We can see what this category looks like on the website. So that will open up a new window and let us see the website version rather than the administrative editing version of the item that you have open. And then lastly, the ... menu takes any of these tools that don't fit and also has a few extra tools you can delete from here, and then there's some advanced stuff like editing fields and viewing codes. In the center at the top, these are the different editing modes for this particular item. So at the moment we are editing the page itself. If we go to here, this shows what its connections are to other things in the system. So it's to say it's connected to a main menu. It's also got two subcategory connections. Each item you look at will be, potentially a different number of things. If we looking at a product, then it'll be connected to categories and potentially images as well. History, so this is all the changes that have been made to this particular item, and we can use this to undo some of our changes by publishing an earlier change of this particular item. There's an individual page statistics, so this is actually the web statistics. It uses the same date range as before that we selected from at the main dashboard, and we can change that again from here. And then we've got totals at the top, activity, and then some other information which you can drill into where people are coming from and going to on your site. And the last one is the SEO information, which we had a bit of a chat about last week, but it just sort of assists you in optimizing this page for social media and SEO. Now that I've opened 5 items So up the top here, I've got a little folder icon with the number 5. So it's telling me I've got 5 things open. I can, if I click on this, I can see the name as well as the icon. So if you're working on across multiple different areas, it can be handy to have these expanded so you can see straight away what they are. Or you can leave it in the condensed view and it will pop up a tooltip and let you switch between them. When you do want to save, you click the save button, and go live will make your changes immediately live to the world. Go live and view will make the page live, but it will also take you to that page to see the changes on the website. And save draft will just save what you've done, but it won't let anyone visiting the website see that change, so you can continue to work on things until you've got them right. Now, recent change we've made to the administration area is that by default the metadata and information fields are now collapsed and they're just in a little bar up the top here, and so you can focus on editing your page and getting all the information you want there and getting it looking correct. And when you do want to edit these, you can click the plus or the name and it will expand, and once it expands you can complete the information that's within here. Now this is only expanded for this one item that I have open, but if I'm doing a lot of work in this area, what I can do is I can pin that open. So if I click the pin, then I can only click the pin. Don't know. The once it's pinned though, it'll stay open. So next time I come back here, it'll still be open. So what I mean by that is if I close out of everything, if I pin this, no, pinning's just not working. If I pin this open and go to close it and go to a different artwork, it will remember that I've pinned that open and keep it open. So if you are going through and say updating some pricing information, you may want to pin the pricing open. So that you can quickly go in and out of multiple artworks and update pricing, or if you're updating your info metadata, pin that open and allows you to quickly switch between them all. It's also a button to expand them all next to the pin, which will set them all to expanded so you can see all the fields. Up the top right, we also have your name, and so that tells you who you're logged in as, and when you click on that, there's a quick link off to update your own profile. So if there's, need to fix something, spelling of your name's wrong, or you want to update your own password, there's the ability to do that from within here. There's also the sign out is under your name. So if you are finished on this computer and don't want anyone else to be able to use the administration on that computer, say you've borrowed someone else's computer or laptop, you can sign out from that menu. The settings menu contains like the system-wide settings, so things like the site configuration, which would have like your normal contact email address, your company or website name, your contact details, phone numbers, what logos and images we're going to use for the administration area, and some other general site-wide settings. If you're looking theme, again the theme settings, it's site-wide, lets you in here change your colors for your website and your fonts for your website. And there's a bunch of other settings in there for different areas, so for the Google Maps or the reCAPTCHA, or if you're redirecting people, but anything that's across the whole site would be in the site-wide settings. Under the help menu, we have a link here which takes you off to our help desk so that you can submit a ticket to get some support. We have a link to our support manual pages, so you can quickly search for, maybe you want instructions on how to set up PayPal or something, and we have some guides around all different aspects of, editing a page or creating an event, and if that resource isn't, something that it still doesn't help you, feel free to lodge a ticket on the help desk. And lastly, there's the My Guides section. So My Guides are guides you can embed in your website. That could be just simple step-by-step information. So that if you do something on a semi-regular or unregular sort of basis, you can make some notes in here about what you did last time so that you can follow that. And the big advantage of them is they stay open. So I can use the website admin and move around and edit different things, and this guide will be here for me. And if I need to edit it, I can edit it. Over here I can make make some edits to it, and these are available for all of your admin users on your site. So if someone else is taking over your job or borrowing your computer, not borrowing your computer, sorry, you've asked them to do something, you're just like, oh, there's a guide in there for that, and off you go. And also, if you then contact us and say, I've got this guide, I was doing it, I'm up to like the 4th step and it's getting stuck or broken or doesn't work, we can look at those steps too and help you and go, oh, you've missed doing XYZ, and even update the guide for you. Now, you can use all these features on the mobile version, so from a mobile phone, and I can show you what that looks like. So this is the site on a mobile, in the sort of mobile frame. So if we log into the admin, again, you'll have to enter username and password. So it's remembered I had the guides open. So I'll get out of those for the time being. So again, top left is your sections, so catalog, artworks. I can choose whichever one same as the desktop view. However, you have to click the three lines at the top to switch between different areas. When you're on mobile, you only need a single tap to open things, so I can just tap about. And here I am in the about page. All works very familiar. The subtle differences are the split view is no longer applicable in mobile. However, there's a design view button up here, so you can toggle between the preview and the design. In this second, where we had the different tabs across the top, now this is just in a button at the top here that you can choose, the history if you needed to undo a change, or the SEO Booster if you're wanting to adjust some SEO aspects of your site, or back to the page. The save button doesn't say save anymore. It just has a disk icon, and then you've got the same save menu, and all the other options are in this 3-dot menu on the right. You can still open multiple things. So if we went back and opened, say, a news post, and then I can use this folder at the top right, and I can switch between the things that I have open from there. So I've got page there and the news post here. Otherwise, all the features of the admin that you can use on your desktop or laptop, you can also use on mobile. So wherever there's a dotted grey box, you can click to add. Choose what you wanted to add, say a button. And the only difference is on mobile, because there's not a lot of space, you do have to scroll back up to the top here to see the configuration of that element. So if we want to change the text on it, etc., which it's at the top. It doesn't take up room on the screen. Once you've got the keyboard open on the phone, it does get a little bit cramped, so we've reduced the amount of things that cover up the screen. And I think that pretty much wraps up everything. The only other addition I was going to say is when you are adding things now, you do now have the ability to paste. So you can paste in images or text or anything that you could drag in, and it will now automatically place that in the page. So if it's an image, it'll upload it. If it's text, it'll remove the formatting and insert the text. So you just straight away paste while that add button is available.